Hello, welcome to Around the NFL Sunday pregame show. I'm your host this evening, joined by my friend Steven, also a newest addition to the Ultimate Sports team as well. Here we are, man. We are here for Sunday pregame action here. We got two great games going on today. Obviously, two of the best games that are going on. It's featured. Obviously, we got to get into the Rams and the Buccaneers. That's going to be coming up 125 on Fox today. Tampa Bay 2-0, the Rams 2-0. Steven, the biggest debate I think everybody's been having so far is who actually stays undefeated. I mean, I say it's the Rams and the Raiders. I don't know. I'm saying it. Not just because I live in LA. I just think it's gonna catch people by surprise. What do you think?
I mean, that's pretty bold, honestly. I feel like that inherently is betting that the Jets are going to get their first win of the season at Denver, which I'll give you credit for. If that happens, that's going to be a huge blowout. But I agree with you. I definitely think the Raiders are going to win. But I'm actually going with Tampa. I think Tampa Bay is going to win. And I think that San Francisco, another undefeated team, will fall. I think the Packers are going to win that game as well. But I'm excited. We got a great day of football ahead of us today. I think it's going to be really fun. We're going to have lots of close games, lots of high scoring games. So it'll be a good NFL Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think we're gonna get into the score predictions here because both teams. I mean, there's people that are speculating it could be a NFC Championship game, could be, but also, I mean, look what we thought of last week as well. People said, "Oh, look, it could be another rematch of 2 years ago, and it was the Bucks." So, we'll see what happens. I think though, when it comes to the score prediction, I think it's gonna be 24-17 Rams. I just think they're motivated. I just think it's something about it. They're playing with fans as well. Last year, it was very tough because the only fans that they got to see was in Florida. So that was a lot different than they were used to. So I think the fan aspect of things also just kind of adds more life to it. What do you think?
No, I agree with you. I think this this is by far and away the most important. It's weird. This is going to sound hyperbolic, but this is the most important game of Matt Stafford's career. I mean, he's been disappointing in the postseason. He's played in Detroit. The whole narrative that he didn't have any help. I mean, he played with Calvin Johnson for like 7 years, so I don't really buy that argument. But I think that nobody in Detroit expected them to win. So now he has that expectation. This is a Super Bowl team, and everybody's going to be watching, and so he needs to deliver. I think for me, I see this. I forget what year it was. I think it was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, where Patrick Mahomes. It was his first year starting, and they went to New England, and basically, I think it was a Tyreek Hill pass the end of the fourth quarter. Threw a bomb. They went up by, I think 3 points or 2 points or something, and there was a minute left. And Tom Brady marches down the field, and they kick a game-winning field goal or scored the game-winning drive, and game was over. I think that's the risk that's going to be involved today. Is you have the greatest player in NFL history in Tom Brady and the smartest player on the field, and I think that Matt Stafford, in the games that I've watched these past 2 weeks, he doesn't have that sense of clock management yet. It's just, let's just score. And so I think that if time management gets screwed up at the end of the game, it's going to be close. I'm not going to bet against Tom Brady, man. I don't know. I mean, you have the courage of your convictions. I give you that, but I think Tom Brady is just too smart.
Whenever you mention Brady in a game, it's obviously hard to not mention what he's done. Obviously, everyone knows his career, and what he's done on and off the field as well. But I mean, I honestly think, look, as we get into, what our standout players are as well, this is going to be our segment as part of our show, we're going to give you our standout players along with the keys to the game. So, I definitely will say, like, I think for the Rams, I just think it's got to be Stafford, Aaron Donald, Cooper Cup. Those three guys right there. You got to make a difference as well. I mean, honestly, you can also throw in Jalen Ramsey too, because look, he made that pick six catch, saved the game, turned the game around. They pretty much sealed the deal against Indianapolis. But obviously Tampa Bay. I mean, look, Tampa Bay. Jason Paul, Devin White, and Gronk. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't just throw those guys out because they're I just think when it comes to this kind of game, I think you just got to keep the pressure on Brady. I think that's how if the Rams are going to win this game, you got to keep pressure on him. It's like you said, clock management. You give him. I mean, obviously Dallas will forever be shunned of when you give Tom Brady enough chance on that clock, he will do something. He will throw the ball. However long he has to throw. It doesn't matter how many yards he needs to make up. He will do that in a matter of 30 seconds, and that's a lot of time they gave him. I think that's how the Rams get it done. But Steven, I get it. You want to let Tampa Bay win this game. We'll see what happens. But how does Tampa Bay? How do you stop? I mean, how do you stop Stafford? How do you stop Donald? How do you stop Cup? They're a good combination guys. They love the running game more, which is slowly what the Rams are trying to build. And their defense has gotten better. And obviously they could be in the context as well for the best defense in the league.
Oh, they are. They are the best. They are the best. I think what's so crazy about the Rams is they have arguably, they have one of the best coaches in the NFL. They have the best defensive player. They have the best cornerback in the NFL. They have the best defensive player, just period, in the NFL, and Aaron Donald. Like it is kind of crazy. Like when you think about it, just Deshaun Jackson hasn't even caught a pass yet. Like it's an embarrassment of riches. And I think that like what we could see here on Sunday is kind of Sean McVay not wanting to show his hand. I think it might be some like just kind of throwing out some looks. And I think that it might be obviously knowing that this is a potential NFC championship game preview potentially. I think that you could see, I think Sean McVay is the smarter coach. So I think if they do lose the game, you're going to see a lot of this could be, regardless, whoever wins or loses, this is going to benefit both coaches, but I think it'll benefit Sean McVay and that coaching staff more come the playoffs because they're going to learn so much about how this team operates. I will just say for Tampa, this is a classic case of addition by subtraction. Antonio Brown is out because of COVID protocols. And for some, I mean, not for no reason. I mean, Antonio Brown's a great player, but Antonio Brown has been targeted more. I think he's gotten the most targets on that team or on that offense in the first 2 weeks. Taking him out of that equation, you're going to see Chris Godwin get more targets. You're going to see Mike Evans get more targets. Maybe even OJ Howard gets into the mix. Obviously Gronk is there. It's going to be a lot more of a sort of spread the ball around approach. I'm not saying this has been an Antonio Brown centric offense, but I think that that's what scares me the most is when you sort of force Tom to just, spread the ball around everywhere you look on that offense. I mean, Jalen Ramsey, I wish that there were 4 of him in that secondary, but the problem is he's only one player. So yeah, it's sort of throw the ball wherever he isn't kind of thing.
Exactly. Honestly, no matter what happens between both of these games right here, this is just going to be great. It's great to see. These guys are going to go at each other. The Rams are going to get a taste of what Tampa Bay's got to offer this year because obviously, in reality here, it's a new season. Nothing happens, within the last season. Everything gets erased. So it'll be just interesting. How do the Rams come out? How does Tampa Bay come out? Who's the first aggressive? Obviously, we know there's bets like crazy tomorrow, and we're going to get into the Green Bay game in just a second. But obviously, people think, okay, the pressure's on both sides. Someone's got to win this game. Someone obviously is going to go is going to be 2-1, and the
Mhm.
question is, who is it going to be? Um, that's another obviously debate as well. But let's get into the Green Bay game, because Green Bay obviously and San Francisco 49ers. Obviously Green Bay's 1-1 so far on the year. Like that game is at 5:20 on NBC. That could be a potential rematch as well. Not
Mhm.
I'm not there's many different scenarios of how the rematches can go when it comes to the playoffs for the
Well,
NFL.
just to point out too,
Yeah.
to because speaking about both the 49ers and the Rams, these games are much more important for them early on in the season. Like they need to win today because Tampa Bay, we know they're going to win the division. Like they're going
Yeah.
to make the playoffs. That's a foregone conclusion, barring injury, right? We don't know if the Rams are like if I had to bet today, obviously I would bet money on the Rams winning the division, but that is much more tightly contested. You have three undefeated teams in that division, plus Seattle. Like these
Yeah.
games early in the season matter much more to NFC West teams than, I mean, the Packers, obviously, I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion that they're going to win the division, but when you're sitting with the Vikings and Detroit in your division, I don't think that that's as scary as the Rams, their situation. You know what I mean? I just think that
Yeah.
like these games are much more we need to win.
Yeah. I think honestly when it comes to both sides, both games as well, they're going to be important. Everybody wants to come out, set an example of what, okay, we need to win this game.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is going to go 3-0. And
Yeah,
that's the bottom line here. Now the question is, does Green Bay go 2-1? That is the real question. I mean, obviously, Niners have been good. There's a lot more in depth we're going to get into about the Niners, but obviously, let's get into here some score predictions. So, Steven, what do you got today? I mean, I think, I mean, you never know. You could be going to Green Bay. I could be going the Niners, or we'll see what happens here.
I yeah, I think this game this is such a weird game to predict because my this could be a high scoring game, it could be low scoring. My gut's telling me that this is going to be a low scoring game, but I will be the least surprised person in the world if the score is in the 40s. So I'm going to go. I think this game is going to be 21-17 Packers.
You know what? I think this might be the first time so far we agree, because I think Green Bay can get it done. I think
Mhm.
they could. Now, obviously, there's players that on both sides that are going to stand out as well. Which we'll go with the Niners as well. First, you got Garoppolo, Kittle, and Nick Bosa, as well as Green Bay. Obviously, just like Brady, you can't talk about Brady without Rodgers as well. So on.
Mhm.
So you got Rodgers, Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams as well for both sides. But I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to both sides here. They're both obviously dealing with their own struggles. Jimmy G is obviously only thrown 20 yards in this season twice, and if somebody would have literally told me that was going to be the case so far to start the year, I would have thought you just copied the wrong stats and you're reading him from like maybe before he was in the NFL, because I would have called you crazy. But however, Green Bay is 28th in defense this year. So, Steven, like it's what's the kid? What do you got for the keys to the game? Because I mean, both sides really, they both have their own pros and cons about how so far their seasons is treating them. So, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean this one's a classic sort of to me. I could so let's just table San Francisco's offense for a second. This
Yeah.
game is all about Aaron Rodgers and the Packers offense with Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams going up against the Niners and their defense. So, and when I talk about the Niners defense, like their cornerback Jason Verrett is on injured reserve, so he's not going to play. Really, it's their front seven with Nick Bosa and Fred Warner.
Yeah.
Can they shut down Aaron Jones and just force Aaron Rodgers to beat them? That's what I'm excited to see. I hope I hope that's what happens because I want to see Aaron Rodgers throw for 450 yards and 5 touchdowns and just put on a show. But that's the matchup. The wild card to me is the 49ers offense. I don't know what that. I just don't know what that looks like. How many snaps is Trey Lance going to get?
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, I'm curious to hear what you think because the 49ers offense is such an enigma to me because I trust Kyle Shanahan so much, but I don't trust any of the players other than George Kittle.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the end of the day, look, also the biggest thing about this game as well, as you were saying, is the running game. And that's
Mm-hmm.
going to be crucial. That's going to be crucial not only for the Niners but for Green Bay as well. They both love to run the ball, and they're both great. They both have had some amazing plays on the running end of their offense as well. I think honestly, it's got to be for. I think for the Niners to get this done here, if the Niners win that game, they'd have to you have to buckle up down. You have to buckle up on the defensive end, and you have to just make Rodgers pay. You have to honestly outscore him. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's plain and simple. Everybody has to be on board with this. I think you can't just have Rodgers involved. Aaron Jones has got to be active in there, and I think I think everybody. I think not only Devontae Adams. I think it's just there's games that you need your whole team. It's
Yeah.
not just three guys you can name. It's everybody. Everybody has to make a difference, even if you're the last guy sitting, no matter what. That's what they always say in sports. It could be that guy. It could be that unknown guy from the Niners as well that's going to make the difference, as well as Green Bay. That's how I'm feeling for both sides of it. I just think I think Jimmy G's got to come out of his shell here. I think that's one of my biggest takes with this game. You have to throw, you got to throw over 100 yards,
Yeah. Oh,
over a
yeah.
hundred
And
yards. Like absolutely, there's no excuse. Like
well,
you're an NFL player. You
think about
have
it
to
from
wake
his
up.
perspective.
Yeah,
The organization drafted his replacement, and
yeah,
he was talking. I think he talked this week, and he's like, "Oh, it's a tough situation to be in." Well,
yeah,
yeah, it's tough if he keeps playing the way that he's playing because Trey Lance is he's gonna end up starting in 4 or 5 weeks. If, like you said, Jimmy G's not gonna take the top off the defense. Like I just think that we know who he is, and it's like okay, like you gotta show us something because we know that this team can make it to the Super Bowl. Like this is a Super Bowl roster, but is Jimmy G a Super Bowl quarterback? Like the organization obviously doesn't think so. So it's like he has to come out there and actually prove it on the field. So I 100% agree with you. This is such a like this season is such a prove it season for Jimmy G because if he doesn't do anything, I mean, maybe he goes back to New England and is a backup for Mac Jones after this, this
yeah,
season. But his days as a starter in the NFL are numbered, like guaranteed.
yeah. I think honestly, I mean, now you have to turn around on Green Bay as well. What do you think the case is that Green Bay goes 1-2?
Yeah, I mean, if Green Bay goes 1-2, I think the only thing that's guaranteed is that Aaron Rodgers is going to take more shots at the organization at the press at the podium during a press conference. I mean, that organization obviously like it's dysfunctional. I just think, and it's not dysfunctional because of anything that the organization has like I'm just so sick and tired of hearing about sort of the days of our lives drama organizationally. I think that Aaron Rodgers needs to this is a season for him this is going to be his last year in Green Bay. I think that everyone sort of has that consensus and it's like the organization and all of the fans are saying, okay, Aaron, prove it. You won the MVP last year. You couldn't make it to the Super Bowl. Like, if you fall to 1-2, I don't want to hear any pouting. I don't want to hear any complaining. Like, you need to come out and show us why you are the best quarterback in the NFL. Like, he's the most talented. It's so much of that. This is what's always frustrated me about Aaron. And I love Aaron Rodgers. I love watching him. But it's this we're always talking about his talent. We're never talking about his accomplishments. Like, yeah, it's cute. You won the MVP. I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers winning Super Bowls. Like,
Yeah,
that's what this is. I mean, it's so much. I mean, we're Lakers fans. It's that same feeling. Like, If the Lakers made it to the Western Conference Finals and they didn't and they lost, I don't care. Like that's the thing for Aaron is like, dude, you can make the NFC Championship game again this year. I don't care. It's a win the Super Bowl all or nothing, and that's the issue for him now is he has that in perpetuity. Like that will be it forever with him until he decides to retire. And it's such a blessing and a curse for him because the expectation is you need to win.
You need a win is right. Um,
Yeah.
it doesn't. And with any sport, obviously not just with basketball, basketball, football, baseball, no matter what it is, and it doesn't matter like where you get in the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you win the first round of a basketball tournament. It doesn't matter if you win the first round of a playoff series in baseball. It doesn't matter if you don't come out on top and you're not enjoying the last out of a game, or you're not enjoying the last running the clock down in a situation of a Stanley Cup Finals or an NBA Finals or a World Series. No matter what it is, or the Super Bowl, if you're not holding up that trophy at the end of the game, it is not a good season. And that's a season that you could say, look, I might have gotten an MVP. I may have gotten a batting title. I may have gotten, no matter what, a sixth man of the year. It doesn't matter. Nobody's going to care at the end. Did you win? Did you get that ring for the start of the next season? Are you going to be enjoying that season? Are you hanging up a pennant somewhere? And if you're not, then it's just it was not a way to finish the season. And I think,
Well,
I think that's the way Rodgers feels.
yeah.
If they don't have a successful year, then I don't think that Rodgers would stay. I don't think he would. And I think if Jimmy G has one hell of a season this year, I think the Niners are going to say, okay, well, we have a lock here. Like you are going to be very much active in this organization. You have made a difference in here. And obviously you've been throwing more than 20 yards. So that
Yeah.
is a big piece of how you're going to have a winning season.
And the discourse in all sports, like you said, the
Yeah.
discourse makes no sense to me. We talk about the organization constantly, but
Yeah.
it's if a player has such an issue with the organization, and look, Aaron Rodgers, like he has a lot to complain about. They don't draft well
Obviously,
in
yeah.
Green Bay. Like they don't. But at the end of the day, it's like you know, I want to. Okay, here I'll use a football. I was gonna use a LeBron example, but I'll use a football example.
There you
Like
go.
how much do we talk about Andrew Luck now because he retired? But the issue I had was Andrew Luck almost died because the Colts had the worst offensive line in the league.
Yeah.
And in the past decade, I can't think of a player that was able to lift his team to success with less around. That's the whole Tom Brady thing. Do more with less. That
Yeah.
dude made the AFC Championship game, in his second year, and then made the playoffs with arguably one of the worst offenses, surrounding him.
Yeah.
But nobody cares because he didn't win, and he stepped away from the game. He said, "Hey, I can't win, and I don't want to die because I'm getting sacked every other play. I'm out." And nobody talks about him anymore because he didn't win. And it's like that's the whole thing for me is like it's the beauty of sports. If you're not successful, nobody cares. And I think that's I love. Look, I have to keep prefacing these comments because I think it comes across as me hating on Aaron. But I love Aaron Rodgers. I love watching him play.
Yeah.
But
Same here.
I'm sick of the excuses. It's always an excuse with him, and it's like, dude, that's the one thing with Tom Brady. It's always just the milk toast. Oh, we got to win, whatever. And then it's like he goes and wins. So it's like that's like you said, they go hand in hand in this era, and it's like I don't know. To me, I'm excited to watch the game, but if you like you said, if the Packers go to 1-2, I'm gonna be frustrated because I have the highest expectations for Aaron Rodgers, and I don't want to see I want to see him succeed. And when he doesn't succeed, it's such a it's this blame game. I want to see him just take responsibility. Go, hey, I didn't play well. Like let's I'm gonna play
I
better
didn't play
next week.
well. I didn't play well. Don't turn it on. Don't turn it on my coach. Don't turn it on anybody else. Take the blame for it. Shut up, and
Yeah.
bounce back the next game. Like nobody cares what your excuses are. And honestly, they're gonna say the same thing about San Francisco to now. So it's gonna
Yeah.
be, it's gonna happen. And today is gonna show, who is gonna come out today. Is it gonna be, is Green Bay gonna come out on top? And then if Green Bay comes out on top today, all of a sudden you're still probably going to hear Rodgers say, "Oh, well, yeah,
Yeah.
we won the game, but I'm not happy with that yet because we could have done other things, and I'm going to blame other things." But Jimmy G's going to say, "Look, great team win, good job
Hmm.
on the offensive side, on the defensive side. Special teams came out there, got it done. Here's the game ball. I got the game ball. I got the game ball, and no matter who it was, no matter who it is, if it is going to be the guys that we talked about today, it could it could be anybody, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
You think ideally, obviously, you think it's going to be Kittle and Bosa as well to come out on the Niners side, and could not be. They both might have their hands tied up. It could be a multiple of things, but I think either way, Green Bay and the Niners, that's coming up later. Obviously, we're going to get ready to go tip off with this game coming up. The Rams and the Buccaneers. That's going to do it for us today for Around the NFL Sunday pregame show. I'm Aaron, joined again by Steven. Great to have you on the show, man. And
Thank you.
first show for football is in the books. Have a great time, everyone. Enjoy the game, and we will talk to you later on tonight and see if our predictions came true. Maybe he's right. Maybe I'm right. Maybe we're both wrong. We will see what happens. That is the beauty of football. We will talk to you guys after the game. Take care, everybody.